Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Burning Conversations. It's Anastasia Douglas once again. And so we're just going to keep rolling with student media leaders. That's going to be our segment for the rest of the semester, is featuring our student media leaders here on campus. First, we had our KNWD General Manager, Eddie Hernandez, last time. Well, today we have our Argus Editor-in-Chief, Rebecca Scott. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining with me today.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
Okay, well, I'm glad you are. So the first thing I want to know, because I don't know this, is what is Argus to begin with?
You're good. So Argus is Northwestern's art and literary magazine. Mm-hmm. Once a year, we put out a physical bound book of student work here that's completely from the student body at Northwestern. We do our different categories are poetry, prose, photography, and fine arts. We offer cash prizes for first through third of every category as well. And it's just a really great opportunity to get involved with, especially if you're interested in going into the world of publication, and just a great way for our creative students here to get their work out there.
So, how did you end up getting into Argus? What is it, a student media showcase? Were you just interested in being a part of a magazine? What intrigued you to be a part of it?
So back in high school, I actually worked for our yearbook at the time. I was their editor-in-chief back then. And so when I came to my first freshman connection session, I knew I wanted to do something student media related just because I really loved my time at our high school's yearbook. Yeah. And I remember passing through the org browse, and I hear from like the back, one of the back tables I just passed is just, "Do you want a free book?" And so like I turn around and I'm like, I would love a free book. And the person who had called out was actually the editor-in-chief at the time. Her name is Izzy. And she gave me like 5 different editions that Argus had put out in the past. And it was kind of just history since there. I came on originally as our PR manager, and I've loved it ever since.
Oh, that's so great. I'm glad you've loved it. And I want to know genuinely, like, in the day of a life of an editor-in-chief of Argus, what are your responsibilities? Because I know there's more, especially now that I've seen during our digital magazine class that I'm taking, that there's a lot of components to producing and publishing a magazine.
Oh, yeah. So it really just kind of depends on what semester it is. During the fall and the spring, I go in the office for 10 hours a week for office hours.
Have mercy.
It's not that bad, I promise. And so for the fall, typically when I would go in, I update our calendar in there. I oversee our submissions, make sure our link's working properly. If we get a submission that we really enjoy or it has like some kind of issue on our end, like if a photography piece is too blurry, I pretty much reach out to that submitter, be like, "Hey, we really enjoy this. Can you send me the file again so I can get it submitted again for you?" And then it's pretty much just checking in on all of our different departments. We have 3 different departments that we have. We have our design department, who oversees our cover, back cover, and any promotional materials, like in merchandise. They design that completely in-house. And then we have our PR team, who runs our social media, which is primarily just now Instagram. We used to have a Twitter, but not many people really use Twitter anymore.
No Facebook?
We do have a Facebook. It's just linked to our Instagram. Okay. So they tend to go up at the same time. But they're great. I love them. We try to have like a consistent posting schedule for 2 posts a week minimum. And then we have our editorial department, which goes over our submissions that we get. We have an anonymous rating system to where our editorial team cannot see who submitted it, and so they're completely unbiased in their opinion and solely rating it on whether they enjoyed the piece or not. And then they also work with our Argus Hour podcast that we do over at KNWD.
Really?
Yes, which that was started with the editor-in-chief before me, and so it's been like her legacy that I've been trying to uphold, just because I really love like collaborating with different student media orgs. It's something really important to me, especially since Argus, when I first came in, was a very small organization, and now we've kind of just blossomed into something so much larger than I could have imagined. And then pretty much the rest of fall is just housekeeping things as we keep getting submissions passively. We typically close our submissions either during dead week or finals week. It kind of just depends like what our final number ends up being. Springtime is when it gets crazy, because then that's when we're finalizing all the pieces that make it into the magazine. We're adding them to our InDesign file. We're making sure like the rock is booked to paint for promotional material, that the ballroom is booked, catering is booked. But pretty much once the book is sent off to the print shop, we kind of take a deep breath for like a couple
I believe it, yeah.
And then we have a big celebration at the end for our release party.
Well, that's so nice. That is absolutely so nice. And I love that y'all have a podcast too. It was the editor-in-chief before our current one now who set this one up. because it's newspaper. Who would think a newspaper would have a podcast? She set this up, and I've been so grateful to have this position ever since I started off in student media, because there's one side to the current sauce and there's another side, which I get to do, which is the media perspective, more so on video and audio. So I appreciate that. I like that you're upholding that. That is very special. So please keep up with that, because that's so sweet. And collabing with KNWD, who would have thought? That's perfect.
Oh, yes.
It's the radio station.
And they're always so sweet, and they always, like, give us, like, off the record, they give us first dibs to, like, put our showtime down so we can make sure it works with our schedule, too.
Yes.
But they've been so wonderful to work with, and we've gotten really good, like, reviews. Like, I saw once somebody on Yik Yak posted about Argus Hour, and was like, who's talking on KNWD
I was just about to say, if it made it to Yik Yak, that's a big deal. Yeah. Well, how many student submissions do you usually get for your magazine? Because it has to be a lot to fill it up.
Oh, yeah. So this year we had one of our lowest submission counts in a while, but it was still like 93 submissions we got.
Oh, wow. That's low?
Yes. We normally get at least about 130 to 200.
My word.
But a lot of them are like either poetry pieces or photography pieces tend to be the most popular submissions that we get. So once you like break it down, it's really not like as overwhelming to review them, because they tend to be shorter.
So what's your classification right now?
I'm a junior.
Junior. So that means next year is senior year, does it not?
I'm not ready.
Not ready. Girl, me neither. So what is a lasting legacy or statement that you want to do for Argus in your last year as editor-in-chief, probably?
So this Friday we actually have our student media election.
I'm speaking it for you. I'm speaking it in existence for you.
And so ever since I became editor-in-chief, I've always wanted us to kind of go back to how we originally started, because we were originally founded in 1976, and Argus would put out a fall edition and then a spring edition. So we have a total of 2 publications a year. When I ended up coming into Argus, we only really did the spring publication. I think it was around like 2002, if I remember from our archives, where we went to the 1 publication a year. And so I was determined from the first time I was elected as editor-in-chief to bring back more publications for Argus, just because we had the time to do it in our schedule. We have the budget, and we, especially like in modern times, just need more outlets for students to put their creative work out
Absolutely.
there. And so my first year, I invented a little monthly series, which we call the zines. And so they kind of play into our main theme for the year. So like last year, for example, our main magazine theme is phobias. And so each month we focused on some different phobia and kind of tried to center around the student work to that one specific one, while still like playing homage to our larger theme for the year. And so this year, what I'm proposing on Friday is to start a fall publication again, and I'm thinking about doing a culture magazine, which we would call the Peacock. And so it would be something completely different from our Argus edition. And I think especially from going to national CMA convention and even regional CMA conventions, so many colleges have a culture magazine, whether it like focuses on fashion or just like your local community. I think especially right now, Northwestern could really use a cultural magazine, just because we have such an incredible artistic community here in Natchitoches, and especially at Northwestern's campus. And my main goal is to highlight the process behind like Kappa shows and student media, and even just to get like more interviews with student writers and photographers and artists, just so they have something else to be proud of and have like accomplishments and have their work be recognized in a larger scheme.
I think that's so nice.
I'm really excited. I think it'll be really great if, fingers crossed, it gets accepted.
Girl, we just gonna speak that into existence for you. So what's your life like outside of Argus, because you're a student? So tell me, is it busy? Is it a little chill? What is it?
So right now it's the most chill I've ever been. I am a student at the Scholars College as well, and I'm
bless your heart.
I'm moving into writing my undergraduate thesis next month. But outside of Scholars College, I'm an English major at NSU as well. I tend to take like 6 or 7 classes a semester, but I love to read, and so I put myself through it, but I have fun doing it at the same time. And then I work part-time at the Natchitoches Parish Library as a library technical assistant, which is what I want to end up going into, is probably library science.
Okay.
Yeah, outside of like Argus, I'm in a ton of different honor societies, and I'm really kind of just everywhere.
That's okay. Be everywhere, be involved, get active.
Exactly.
It's okay. But I'm glad you're heavily involved in everything. That just makes for a more well-rounded student.
Exactly. That's what I always say. I'm like, I promise it's not as bad as it seems.
Okay, so Argus, our school magazine.
Yes.
Can you describe it in one word for me? What Argus is all about, what it entails for someone who doesn't know about it, might come to a media showcase and is like, hey, what is this? What are you doing? Describe what they're getting into or what they might experience in just one word.
I would say legacy.
Legacy.
As my one word. Because while we are an active publication, we are also an archive for the past 50 years of creative work that we've had here at Northwestern. And our sole focus is to preserve that artistic culture and give students both a platform, but also this physical copy of their work that can last forever. And especially like through our digital archives, even if you lose that physical copy, you can pull up the website and your work is still there and can be seen by people around the world through that platform.
I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. And for students as well, let's say they come to Argus and they're scared about being part of a team, because I know it's a team. What would you say to them about that?
So we are an all-female staff, I will say that, which can definitely be intimidating sometimes. Girl boss, we work great. But especially because we were all that same scared art kid who kind of sat in the back of class and was terrified to put their work out there. And so especially at these like freshman connection tabling sessions, I always make sure our staff is being as friendly and as opening and welcoming as we can, just because we have that same shared experience, and we know especially it is terrifying to send your work out to be looked at by your peers. And so we really try to make sure like our office space feels open and welcoming. We have so many decorations, and like I like to joke with my staff that we have like mama kind of vibe, but I think it helps build up the atmosphere we have.
Absolutely.
In there, because the second you enter the office, and I've had people like during student media open house when they first came into our office, they're like, this feels like a place that I can be welcomed and not be judged.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Rebecca, thank you for coming on the podcast, talking about
me.
Absolutely, yes, and talking about Argus, because truly I knew it was a student media organization. I'm like, I don't know much about it, so thank you for coming on and explaining that, because you just gave me some insight as well.
We'd love to hear it.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm looking forward for next year when we come back in the fall and the spring to see y'all's work be displayed.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right, guys, this concludes our episode of Burning Conversations. Next time we will have another student media leader who, I can't say who, you'll have to wait and see. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm Anastasia Douglas, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.